and welcome to Craft with Sarah and the next video in my year-long series of themed flower pot SVGs. Today we're going for a little bit of a spooky design with this Halloween themed flower pot. We've got a Venus flytrap in the back and a spooky face peering out of the side of the flower pot. This is a lovely design with lots of layers in and perfect for either your Halloween decorations by putting it in a shadow box like this, or you can put it onto a greetings card. Here's an example of it on a card. This is a 5 by 7 inch card and you can see it shrinks down beautifully. So whether you're making it big or you're making it small, you're going to need to get the free SVG. Here's how to find it. You can find the free files to make this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs, or click the link in the description of this video to go to the tutorial where you can download straight from that page. You'll need to register a free account on my website in order to download any of the designs. The download comes in a zip folder. Before you can get the files into your cutting machine software, you'll need to unzip that folder. Visit craftwithsarah.com/help for instructions on how to do that, as well as a wide range of other tutorials on how to use your Cricut, Silhouette, or Scan and Cut machine. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, open up Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Go into Upload over on the left of the screen, and then Upload Image. You can then click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the download folder, and within there, look in 01 Cricut version. If you're using a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut, then go to craftwithsarah.com/help for separate tutorials on which file to choose for your type of machine. But I'll go into 01 Cricut version and then upload the file that starts SVG-01 in the file name. Press Continue, and on this screen, press Upload. And it will then be inserted onto your project. You can close out the window on the left by clicking the arrow that appears halfway down the page. The design comes in at a nice size to cut, which is 6 inches tall and 5.6 inches wide, but you can resize it if you wish. To do that, make sure the padlock icon between the width and the height boxes is closed, and then you can type either the width or the height, press enter on your keyboard, and the other measurement changes in proportion. If you've got a particular size card or frame that you're looking to fill with this design, I have a separate video available on how to size it perfectly to fit and how to add background layers and other elements inside your shadow box to fill up all of the space. To find that, look at the written version of this tutorial, which you can find in the description of this video. This is what my Halloween flower pot looks like, all ready to cut, and I've added some background layers to go in my shadow box so that it will fill all the way to the edge of the frame. I'll cut this grey square and this pink square from pattern paper, also with a Halloween theme, to help bring it all together and fill up the space really nicely. For this one, my background is 9 by 9 inches, which is the size of my frame, and my flower design is 7.9 inches tall and 7.38 inches wide. I'll also be cutting out the design teeny tiny to go on a greetings card. My card base is 5 by 7 inches. Once again, I've added some extra layers in here, and my lime green colour will be cut from pattern paper. This time my flower pot is much smaller, it's only 4 inches wide and almost 4.3 inches tall. I found this Happy Halloween in Cricut Access, which I thought filled in the gap at the bottom really nicely. When you're ready to cut your project, press Make over on the top right of the screen, and that will separate out all the colours for you. You can change the paper size in the drop down here, and then on the pieces where you've got multiple different layers showing up, you can move things about to take up less space. Just make sure that nothing's overlapping, otherwise it won't cut out properly. This design has got a few colours in it that will only need a small amount of cardstock, so it's great for using up your card scraps. When you're happy with how all of the pages are looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut from your cardstock. Here are the pieces of my Halloween flower pot all cut out. I've laid them one on top of the other following the assembly guide that's included in your download folder to check that I'm happy with how all my colours are looking and that I haven't missed any of the little pieces along the way. However, as with all my layered designs, we'll start at the bottom and then work upwards. I'll be putting this together with a combination of glue and foam squares. The glue I'm using is Barely Art glue, but I also like Halal. The reason I like these two glues is because they don't bend or wrinkle the card like some glues can do. The foam squares I'm using are from Dot & Dab, but again, any will do. These ones are 2mm thick and 5x5 on the size. If yours are bigger, you can cut them smaller with scissors so that they'll fit into the smaller parts of the flower pot. Okay, so I'm going to move all the pieces apart, trying to keep things kind of in the same order, seeing as I've gone to all of that effort, until we're left with just the very two bottom pieces. The dark green piece goes at the very bottom, and then we've got the white bit with the spider web to go on top, and this will be glued on. Turn it upside down and add my glue to the back. What's nice about the Barely Art glue is it comes with a tiny nozzle on it, very, very thin, which means I can get it in all of these spaces really easily. And I could also glue my mini version that you saw too. And the nozzle was just perfect for that one as well. I can't pick it up. I cut all my fingernails short at the weekend and now I can't pick anything up. Okay, let's put this on top. The nice thing about glue is there's a little bit of wiggle space before it dries to make sure you've got everything lined up just right. There we go. Next up is this darker piece, and this one will be done with foam squares. So once again, turn it upside down and then get your foam. Try and put a piece in all of the sticky out areas like the spider and all of the leaves that are coming out, and also in the tongue of the plant. You may need to cut them smaller with scissors to get them into those small areas. I think my leaf here, I'm going to have to cut some of these in half. And it's important to get your foam squares in all of these kind of extremity pieces because it helps to keep it all nice and level and give you a consistent 3D effect across the whole of the piece of card. This one takes a little bit of time because there are so many different areas to put the foam in. I want to put some in this bit up here and also this leaf, but my foam squares are a little too big for that, so just go down, cut some of them in half, and then that'll be fine. They're a little hard to pick up this small, but not too bad. There. Oh, and probably in that tongue as well. There we go. Alright, I've still got all this big area of the flower pot to do. So I'll put some around the edge, and then once I've done the edge, I'll also add some in the middle, in this section here. The reason for that is if there was nothing in the middle, it's not going to hold itself flat. You'll find that the card might dip downwards, and again, you just won't get that nice consistent 3D effect on the layer. So, as well as going around the outside, those two foam squares are stuck together, as well as going around the outside, you also want to put some in the middle, like that. And now I've added all those foam squares on, I'm going to peel the tops off to reveal the stickiness underneath. Bring the pieces back in that have already been stuck, then we're going to line this up on top. I'll start by sort of trying to hold these bits up a bit and then get the flower pot and that spider in place and then gently drop down. Make sure the leaves line up on the other side and then work on these parts up here to make those line up as well. The reason for just gently dropping down is it won't actually stick yet, it's just kind of lead on top. So if you weren't happy with the positioning, you can pick it up and you can move it pretty easily. But I am happy with that. And once you're happy, push down to get all those foam squares really well stuck. Next up, I'm going to do my 2 bats on the background, but you can sort of do these at any point because there's nothing else that goes on top of them. So if you're following the assembly guide, which I don't have in front of me, and this is a slightly different order to what I do on there, then it doesn't matter when you do the bats. As these are quite small, I'm adding my foam squares directly on the white piece, the spider web, rather than on the backs of the bats. They're slightly different shapes, so match them up to the silhouettes that you can see on the spider web. Got one there, and then my second one down there. There we go. Next up, I'll do the spider. This is another one where you could kind of do it at any point from now on. But I'm going to go for now. I've got a foam square for his body. There we go. And then a little bit of glue for the oval on top. If you've got any big sticky gemstones, that would look nice instead of that oval. There's a spider. Alright, next up we've got some of the leaves. Have this second piece on. I'm going to line them up, get them in the right order before I start gluing them down. That one, and that one. And then glue those on. Next up is the flower at the top, starting off with a foam square. And then we've got the solid flower. There we are. And then glue the top bit with the hole in the middle over the top. That's what it's looking like now. Okay, at this point you can either do the top of the Venus flytrap or you can do the flower pot. It doesn't matter which way round. I'm going to do our Venus flytrap. We'll start by sticking this piece on with foam squares. Again, I'm going to need some of my smaller foam squares to go in there, in the tongue. Line it up on top, gently drop down, and when you're happy with the positioning, push down. Next up, we've got the brighter red for the tongue. This one is glued on. Then we've got the purple, and this one is foam squares. Then glue the green piece with the holes in on top. And there's the plant. Flower pot next, starting with these leaves to go on with foam squares. Use the bottom and the leaves on the sides to line it up. And push down when you're happy. Next is the yellow of the flower pot, and this will be done with glue. Then the face, also with glue. Next up is the lip for the edge of the flower pot to do with foam squares. Ooh, I just moved the glue on that one with my finger. That wasn't very clever. Just put it back in place. And then this one over the top. Ooh, didn't do a good job there. That's better. And then next up we've got the flowers and the leaf in the middle. I'm going to use a foam square for each of these and be a little bit of a cheat and put them directly on here. Just find that a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can put them on the back of the pieces if you find that way easier. I got a solid flower for that. The green leaf, the bigger piece for that. And then the two flowers joined together for over here. And then finally, got these bits to stick on the top. And the rest of it is all done with glue. Flower. The detail for the leaf. And then the two flowers joined together. And there we go, there's my Halloween flower pot, all finished. Lots of lovely depth and dimension in there. And let's also take a look at the smaller one I cut out to go on my card. So that's here. You can see the difference in the sizes, and it cut beautifully at such a small size. Because this one's going on a card, I've used fewer foam square layers for this one. So I've gone a little bit rogue and different to the assembly guide. For this one, I've only put a foam square behind the bottom layer of the darker red, the flower, this green bit on the top, and then the lip of the flower pot. Everything else I glued, so it's still got some dimension in it and looking really nice, but I didn't want it to be really thick that it would cost more money to post. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and finish off my shadow box and my greetings card, and then we'll take a look at the finished projects. Time for the reveal. Here is my shadow box. I used some Halloween pattern paper for the background squares, and I love how that turns out. I wish I had a black frame because I think that would really enhance the spooky vibe overall, but I'm happy with the white frame too. And here is my greetings card. So again, I've used some pattern paper and then some other rectangles. It's a 5x7 inch card, all ready to add my message inside. And I've got the Happy Halloween that I found in Cricut Access. So they both look really lovely, either as a set or just make one of them. It's completely up to you. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to make this free Halloween SVG with your Cricut machine. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and come back soon for even more free SVGs and Halloween fun. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!